There we go. Now we're live. We had to adjust the road software as per usual. Alrighty, how's everybody doing? If someone wants to say something on the YouTube side, I want to make sure my chat works here first. And then we'll kind of get going. Today is going to be a cool day. I'm working on some planet tech. Gotta have some planet tech, you know? It's nothing crazy yet. It's just noise. Everything is just layered noise. But it will become something. Alright, so I've been working on the buggy. And kind of like we're gonna bring not this version, like a lighter version, into Unforgiven Systems. That's gonna be the idea. And get this buggy set up in Unforgiven Systems, the low poly version of it. This was kind of like mid, not like quite final art, but as close as I could get it at the time. We don't really need this level of detail right now. So hopefully... Oh, okay, it works. Perfect, thank you, Sarah. Yeah, so we're going to be doing a little bit of both. So I'm trying to find on Unity. There's a few planet stuff that I was already working on back in the day. They call it like City Planet or something. I don't know. Yeah, let me take a look at my other projects real quick. So there's a planet. Example assets, models. No. Speaking of which, a lot of these library folders can actually be deleted. Hey, look, it's the original ship. Created in 2022-03. This was the extent of my Blender skills back then. I didn't even know how to shade smooth. It was just like a concept. What's interesting, I wouldn't actually mind making a version like this that's just kind of like square, funky. Be kind of cool. No materials. Didn't know how to do that back then. Oh wow, look. And this is actually the first cockpit that I made. Once again, no sweet clue how to make things smooth. Right, this is actually just a sub-dev model. I wonder if I should keep these, you know? These old assets. Even though they don't really like, you know? Humble beginnings. I remember when the toilet looked like that. Still, no materials. Yeah, and just, you know what I mean? Like, this was the original hookup. Yeah, I was getting better when I started working on like this thing. Thanks to Munglo. Early, like, so funny, like none of this has materials. It's just shape. Oh, weird, was it? Kind of done that way. Hey, there we go. And this was the mining ship prototype. Oh, look, and I actually added stuff to the landing gear. I had an idea, but it was very, yeah, because I think I ended up liking what I was doing with this, and I wanted to turn this into a whole different ship. And that's where the final version of the ship came from. It was kind of like based on this kind of shape language. Oh, what is this? Tow? Oh, what is this? A tow ship? Like a like a caterpillar. That's funny. I like the concept of a side-mounted wrecker. Man. Yeah, and this is when I started modeling things a little bit more seriously. I learned how to shade smooth. And I started learning how to make leather. What is that? Oh, it's cool. Yeah, and then this is when we're actually starting to kind of make the ship. And lay it out. And figure out what the components are. And how it works. Yeah, I'm glad I have all these. And back then, this was the only design for the station. And like for the first year, this little weird prototype station was the only thing that was in Unity. This is what the game looked like. That's what the ships look like. They had really no more detail than that. They were just a mathematical layout. Cool. I'm glad I have those. Yeah, I should actually. Yeah, this is back when it was just called Space Truckers. These were just the first models. Oh, this is definitely a lot cleaner. I feel like this is after Munglo treatment. Why the uneven number? Just to curse myself. Yeah, cool. Anyway, we're actually just going on an adventure to try to find a Unity project I had saved. No models color, so it's not that planet one, but I had a planet scene. Totally set up. And it could have just been literally an Unforgiven Space. Maybe in the universe server? Nope, there's nothing here. Oh, I forgot about those old characters. I actually want to take a copy of this and put it on my desktop. They all look sick. Sick isn't terrible. No, I can't. I don't know. I can't. I don't know what I went with for that. I guess we're just gonna do it all from scratch again. And kind of like remake them. Oh no, not a wheel. Vehicle body. Okay, so we have our gray box. We have our buggy. We should have our wheels. I left out all the springs and everything because I don't want to use those. And that's gonna be front right. Back left. Oh, we're actually backwards. That's back right. That's back left. Front right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we're going to make each one of these editable. Throw more of these notes in. Hey Dakota, welcome, welcome. We're doing some gray box versions of the ship, of the vehicle in the game because I finished the planet tech stuff, and I want to cruise around in the game on a planet. I think it'd be fun. Okay, so I have this one. Wheel back right. So once I get this kind of like loosely set up, we'll kind of get it nice. I found a good idea for my first small game. Oh, that's awesome. What's your idea? Or are you kind of keeping it? Ideally, I would like kind of keep them mounted in these nodes, but doesn't really matter. This one's only going to be a gray box. And then there'll be a little back right. And that's back left. I'm not going to say much is going to be a medieval with a bit of fantasy in it. I have MB Labs, so I can make characters pretty slick. Even in fantasy races, as far as I'm going to say for now. Nice. That's awesome. Oh, thanks.
You're frozen solid.
What?
Frozen solid.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Oh wow, I just heard my voice. I sound like Jessica.
What? What?
I sound like Jessica.
Oh. Now, can I get that script? Actually, what do I want to do? Well, we need to get the cockpit imported correctly this time. Let me just oh man, yeah, no, this class. Assets, materials, cockpit glass. Yeah, I guess, yeah, having the seat in here. Yeah, I think, yeah, this is fine. This'll do. I was thinking there's probably going to be too much polygons on the things, but nah. It'll work. Also, what are we... Yeah, just do it. New here's the thing. Let's save this at cockpit. Buggy. Cockpit. Box. And then we'll take this one. Minus 0.25. Nope. Alright, so there is a buggy. We gotta raise the whole thing up. But let's kind of get side by side with the other project here. Where we have an actual working version of this. And we'll kind of get them set up in the same way. We won't really need... yeah, we can grab all these colliders and whatnot. I wonder... Let me save this as vehicle null model. And then we'll get rid of these. Keep that collision shape. Keep the other collision shapes. We'll get rid of these arms. Alright. So we should have a data version of our ship. Or of our buggy. Without anything, any custom scripts. Yep. These are all fine. Because this, we have the position and everything all kind of set up. All we have to do is put the wheels back in place. And that'll be great. So let's call this buggy model. And we'll show it in file system. One thing we need to get, we need to get the vehicle code. When I moved over to the systems project. Yeah, I think, yeah, if ships is its own thing, I think we should put a new namespace for vehicles. It is in a vehicle's namespace, I just don't have a folder for it. Meh. Okay, whatever. And then what I want to do is we're just gonna literally now take our little prefab. We shouldn't have any dependencies. We're gonna copy it into Unforgiven Space. Under prefabs, vehicles. Or Unforgiven Systems, I mean. Yeah, there should be vehicles. There we go. Vehicle, no body. I think I got a new update. Got rid of something that I enjoyed. I think the new update got rid of something I enjoyed, which was the ability to see what was child node of what. I think it's just me and my settings. In Godot, did you accidentally save it as a scene? Does it have a little scene icon next to it? Maybe you just saved it as a scene, so it's like a sub scene. Which is good practice. All right, now let's get rid of. I guess we should be able to close this out now. Open up this. Find our vehicle, no model. Fix our dependencies for our namespace. Yay! And now we have one which will become the real buggy. So I'm just gonna call it buggy. Why don't we save it as just buggy? I'll rename it once we get organized here. And then we'll kind of just bring all of these things back into the buggy. Yeah, we're going to reparent these to a new node called buggy models. Oh, yeah, just like my besties. Because these don't actually affect anything. But then in the wheels, we're going to move our actual yeah, we're going to reparent these, and then this should all work, hopefully. I don't know what we were using those other references for. Oh, they're probably just for design purposes. Anyway, so we should be able to take a wheel mount and drag a wheel mount into each one of these. And then flip the ones. And with all of that now set up, our buggy should be back to normal. I don't see any of the steering stuff though. Ah, there we go. Okay, good. So the vehicle's back. Because what we'll do is we'll make buggy extend vehicle if we're going to make a custom vehicle. And we're going to use an iVehicle interface. Like, there's a lot of code to make this actually like nice and clean, but you know, we also don't have the ability to kind of like get into it or do anything with it right now. But we can still kind of test it out, kind of see how things go. And then I want to delete this one. And then go back into buggy. And then resave it as buggy gray box, and it'll be the working prototype. And we want to move this to prefabs vehicles. Create a new folder. This will be buggy gray box, because I just want to make sure we don't conflict. I'm going to move it. There, and this should be a final buggy gray box as far as the current implementation of it goes. We don't really have a way of like kind of interacting with it or setting it. Player doesn't know what a vehicle is or anything, so what we'll do is we will because I also don't know how we apply the gravity to this thing as an over. Oh yeah, I guess we don't really need to. It'll dynamically do it. Yeah, so this will be fine. Yeah, so we want to create a test scene, which is just going to be based on our planet test. So we're going to take our planet test. We can get rid of this wheel. And then this whole planet that we're working on here. That we're just going to call test planet. Or planet test. We're going to save this as a scene. Under our prefabs, planets, space, planets, planet test. Now planet test is isolated. And then we want to take our empty test scene. And no, actually, let's create a new one. This is going to be this will be our vehicle testing. Scenes, systems, vehicle testing. And then we'll create our world environment. We'll load up our environment. We'll bring in our planet test. We're going to bring in our camera. We're going to temporarily set this to be our vehicle. So we're going to go with our vehicle, our buggy. Throw our buggy on the surface. Now in the buggy, if we make the buggy editable, I think it should have a camera mount for the pilot. And how accurate that is. Okay, so we're going to say that our target is going to be the camera mount pilot. So we want to make sure that I'll make it local now. So our planet gravity area collision is masking to 1, 2, and 3. We are on 1. This point yeah, so that's fine. I wonder what rolled us over. And so we need a star. And we'll light the north. We'll just kind of like we'll light one surface. Are we so slippery? Vroom. Okay, now the gravity is working. Oh god, it's so slidey. It's so heavy. Yeah, see, it's a lot easier to drive around a planet. I wonder why it wheelies. We need a... Yeah, we're not in the clear yet. On our buggy, let's add a light. So we can actually see where this thing's going. So this would be a spotlight. Radius of 40 kilometers. And something high in energy. Sure. Okay. I just want to see where it is when we're running the vehicle test. Yeah, while I'm giving it gas, it seems to want to like fly, but oh, it actually is doing a wheelie. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I don't think that's like... Anyway, let's drive over to the dark side of the planet. E Oh god, it spins out of control. So easily. When it has a bit of momentum. Yeah, that camera. It's not very bright. I can kind of see it though. Actually, no, it's... Yeah, I can spot. I just want to be able to spot the vehicle on the dark side of the planet. Okay, so this works. Obviously, we need to be able to, you know, control it and not just in the test scene. Or is it? Did it roll over somewhere? Oh no, it's here. Yeah, I need to alert the steering so it doesn't oversteer. With the controller, it's fine. This is meant to be extremely maneuverable. And kind of like spin on a tire type thing. It's kind of a space forklift. Yeah, the only yeah, that's gonna be so cool. We need to make a follow camera. That's actually gonna be really cool. Let's figure out what are we gonna do. Let's add some more stuff. There's a lot of stuff we've actually finished in this. I'm gonna start adding stuff that we've actually done in the last 2 days. Right, because a follow camera for ships and vehicles would be cool. In general, so that needs to be added. Something that kind of lurks behind the ship. So it's not... If you are just the ship from behind, you'll never perceive your own input. You have to kind of follow in a lag, where you kind of get the influence of like the forces and stuff. Uh, so that's where I'm getting all the notifications from. Oh yeah, unfortunately it's work done. It's working on Planet Tech RGB. I got the gray box vehicle in the Unforgiven Systems build. And obviously we gotta get the player like, you know, actually using it, but we I could mute that channel in Discord if I wanted to, but now I'll let it do its thing. Hey man, it's all about progress. Some people that are, you know, putting money into the project, they like seeing some updates, you know. Yeah, so we added the buggy. That's kind of what we're doing today. This all started because I finished a very basic primitive version of Planet Tech. Check this out. So this is my empty test scene now. And this planet back here, it's actually, or should now be working. Yeah, so check it out. Now I can go spawn in my ship. They had to refactor a lot of the gravity is now working in the ship cockpits and in its ship interior, but there's a bunch of jankiness like here. When I'm using my remote transform to get in the seat, there's like this jitter. I have a fix for it, but you know. But check this out. Wait, this is the wrong planet. Okay, nope, wrong planet. This planet. This was not it. Okay, not the right one. Valid planet test. It is using. Yeah, there you go. I can see the gravity volume. Take 2. How's your day going, RGB? What have you been working on? All right, let's go. If you mute the channel, you don't get this cool stuff. Or we're like kind of because the ship itself only has a square collider on the bottom of it. It's like it's rocking on the fact that it's a sphere collider, and it's kind of funny. But yeah, check it out. Real gravity. Now I got a lot of work to do on generating the planet meshes and some compute shader work and maybe porting some of my Unity stuff. But like, you know, I literally have bullet drop. Everything is all working. We can just run around the planet. But then I realized running around the planet, it's going to take a long time. So you know what we need? We need a ship. A little ship. We need something that we can put in the back of the ship and make running around the planet a lot more fun, you know? And I wonder what we could use, you know, to put into the, I gotta fix this collider. Gotta rechange the player interactor to specifically only shoot that ray from the camera. It'll make our life a lot easier. Yeah, so it's now all working. And it's so cool. Like, originally, if we go over to the dark side, let's go to the dark side. Anyway, yeah, this is what I'm working on. I want to start making I want to start building up the placeholder content for gameplay, you know, like the different types of stations. They don't have to be final art, but they do exist, and they're in, you know, they are the, you know, the scope of the game. I'm still going to keep having, you know, I probably want to have super, like, massive planets. In the start, they'll probably be like moons. But we want to have all the systems in, you know, so we can just kind of like create a, you know, a planet body and set the radius and, you know, just kind of like set it all up and set the noise map and all the different like layers that drive it. And we can stabilize that landing gear by actually putting an extra set of colliders underneath. So yeah, that's what I've been working on. Now, wait, we aligned. Wait, does gravity not pull me down then? Hang on. We're aligning to the gravity. Oh no, I'm on top of the collider. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, okay, I see what's happening. Bug. So anyway, yeah, that's my job right now is to get the I want to get the rover in and get it working, and I think it'll be fun for people to play with, and we'll kind of see where we go with it. Because I'm still not certain if it's going to fit in the ship, and like I'm waiting to make a smaller version of it, or maybe get a speeder bike working. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I think a chase cam would be cool. Extending the free cam to be like a chase cam. Be cool. Yeah, so on more important, so I like the idea. So follow cam, let's follow cam / chase cam. This will be cool. We also need to add thrust limiter to the ship. Right, so this will be nose wheel. And then we need an on-screen indicator. Hey, Pash, how's it going? So we need to add a MFD bar for limiter. Right, so we can just put it on MFD for the time being. And when we get more of a helmet, you know, heads up display, we can kind of like put it there. I think MFD be fine. Somewhere near power state. It will be fine. I once dreamed of game dev, but I have 0 skills in it, and I got my dream crushed by a moron I chose to work with. I'm in nothing but in awe of what you're doing. Oh, thanks, man. This is really, like, I don't know if you've been watching, but this is my test project. This is just like where I'm kind of getting all the systems working. The main project itself, which is the one here. Can I give you a little tour of the game? Yeah, because it'll look a lot more graphical soon. I work for 13 months, 13 hours a day, all for naught, so I stay solo. Yeah, be very careful with that. Make sure you know what I mean, and to a certain degree, like NDAs and non-competes and all that kind of stuff is very non-enforceable to a certain degree. Like we had a gentleman helping us with the project in the early stages, doing some modeling, and back then we were using ClickUp or Trello, and I had a ton of space for my Trello account, so we were actually like attaching all of our blend files to the Trello board and kind of moving them across from, you know, white box, gray box, you know, kind of like materials, final art, until it was done. So a lot of props, a lot of things were, you know, were pretty much there. And they kind of went in and deleted everything. Like, no, I still had it on the project, and I still had backups of things or whatever, but it was just like, why? You know, like what's the what's the point of you know, what do you gain from but that stuff happens, you know. Keeping backups and, you know, making sure that, you know, projects always moving forward. Yeah, this is the ship. This is, you know, this is kind of, you know, what it's slowly, you know, working itself into. I like the little area. I gotta get this reflection working. And over here we have the combat variant. Is an absolutely terrible lighting. Was it art? I think so, and maybe they did. Like they just kind of they were only working on very small props and stuff like that. The issue, like if you have a dream, like a vision of what you want your game to be, the reality is anyone else that's helping. You know what I mean? Like they're helping. They're on the ship that's being sailed. You know what I mean? And they can influence. Like the direction, but ultimately it's not their ship. Right? And it's really hard. You know what I mean? To get people to. Either like enjoy the project or they're inspired by it or whatever. But yeah, those are just always the the challenges. Hey, Pixius. Right, like artistic differences. Are you mostly then an artist, Pash? Or mostly just ideas? Ideas are kind of like that's the worst thing, right? Anybody can have ideas. I mean, there are people that play games and they're like, man, it'd be so cool to have this game, whatever this is, right? But putting in the work to learn the art, to learn what is required to make it. Creative lead, I suppose. That sounds a little bit idea-ish. Let me Brain keeps you put all the work in besides code. Gotcha. Right, but to give you an idea, I mean, like here's the ship, and here's the blender, and in 2022 when I started this thing, I was just in here earlier. Right, this was my ship, I didn't know how to shade smooth. I didn't even know shade smooth was a thing. My topology was crap, I had no choice but to learn, to figure it all out. Interior. So like this is like, oh no, not that one. I want to find that actual cockpit. Right. So this was like putting together the cockpit for the first time. It started off really kind of bad and it just worked its way. What am I find? Let me see if I can find that. Was it interior? Yeah, like this was it. This was the game when I started, just modeling everything. Well, I'd say that'll be a premium ship for the final game for $1,200. Oh God, no, but a lot of this still stayed the same. Like the bunks are still based on this same old model, same the shower, same dimensions. Obviously, this toilet doesn't look like this. Yeah, game dev is not for me. I got talents in other fields that served me way better. This is looking good though, all things considered. What's your scope? It's like Sea of Thieves in space. Think of Freelancer in a Cowboy Bebop universe as a first-person shooter. That's more akin, right? But anyway, that was me, 2022. But I've been working at this for 2 years now, and yeah, a lot of the stuff. Oh, Fix, just take a look at the right, and like it's going to have different gameplay loops. Like it has medical, right? You can rescue NPCs, right? You can be killed. When you're killed, you wake up in a medical station. It's kind of a right, a security gameplay. Like all the basics you think. Mining, asteroid mining, salvage. Just you're very tropey, Star Wars-esque. Gotta fix the Yeah, let's go back into systems though. We have a lot of real spin to simulate gravity. Are you ready for this fixes? Did I show you gravity last night, or did I not have planets working last night? I don't remember. Oh, okay. So. Alright, so let's go. Hey, gravity, get gravity gun. Thank you. So when are you? So what's that? So when are you entering a 12-year pre-alpha? Right now, every single day. It's just Patreon monolithic. And this is what I do. I just do builds. I push the builds. Patreon members download the builds and they play the builds and they're like, this is fun. This is not fun. And then I go, oh, and then I keep working on it. And then I do more builds and just do builds until there's a game. And it's not considered a game on the Patreon, right? There's perks. The idea, you know, the membership perks is $5, gain access to the game, reserve your handle, and get access to the dev builds. And at $10, you get access to the dev builds. And the idea is you have your own little kind of like customizable hab that you can kind of work with now while we're working on the game. So there's like one station, which is like our test station for the Patreon build. And you get your own little place you can customize. But this is being re-implemented now-ish. It's all stuff I was working on like last week, you know, because a lot of this was in Unity, and then we kind of popped it over from Unity. We did a full 180 on Unity, spare them, and yeah, it's slowly growing. You know, we were a little bit further than we were when we were in Unity, because you know, when you kind of port an entire game to another engine, maybe it doesn't go over so well. Maybe don't tell your community, you know, we're just going to switch to Unreal, you know what I mean, and redo everything. You know, redo all the logic and blueprints and redo, but, you know, obviously Unreal, both Godot and Unity are C#. So it wasn't really that big of a deal switching from one engine to another. It was pretty straightforward. But yeah, like, and there's been 2 or 3 more Patreon builds since that I haven't even done patch notes for. I just kind of posted on the Discord like while we were testing. Because since then there's been, you know, if we go to our little lovely Discord, which I can link, right? This is everything that happens every single day, right? Just all the things that I'm working on. Just by fluke, I tested it out in the early stages and didn't like it. And then after Unity started kind of doing Unity things, I gave it another serious test again, right? And it was kind of like, let's see what we can do with 64-bit precision. Let's see where we can go with this. And yeah, so this is kind of, you know, so you can keep an eye on the project, and I'm very transparent. I mean, you literally, you know, can just go and watch, you know, the stuff that I'm working on. So that's always good. There's no, you know, if we have to step back on a game mechanic, then we just step back on a game mechanic. You know, we're like, okay, we're not doing that now. And if people are upset about that, that's fine. We didn't sell the game to them as a game. They're just supporting a project, and they're supporting the development of the project, and their input obviously matters because that's why they're helping, you know, like steer, you know, like kind of input their ideas and kind of see how things go. But I think it's better, like, you know, because that way we can kind of like the scope can be tamed, yes, you know, as it needs to be. as we find something that's kind of like, that's probably not going to work. Not the speeder bike. Gotta get the speeder bike in. We haven't touched the speeder bike in a while. Mostly because I wasn't going to do planets at all, and now I kind of want to get some fundamental planets in. But yeah, I think the progress is good. Like I have a realistic. I'm trying to reach around 600 USD. I'm around 20% there or so. If I reach 600 USD, I will kind of start working more part-time-ish, and like that's my goal. Especially if there's continuous growth. The reality is, I think I'm going to cross over a threshold. I think there's going to be this threshold of playability, right, where there's enough things to do in our sandbox that are actually fun, that a player could pop in and actually enjoy for a while, that warrants other people checking it out, and warrants the spread of like word of mouth to kind of start like, okay, check out this project, because we don't need hundreds of people to jump on board, but you know what I mean? Like I'm literally just distributing the builds kind of manually right now. Like it doesn't need to blow up, because we only really need a couple hundred people to really be able to, like get the feedback that we need. Like there doesn't need to be this huge giant community around the game. But yeah, anyway, let's go fix this. Check it out. All the gravity is slowly pulling me down. And now the ship gravity stuff is now working. And when I enter exit, we are literally now walking around the planet. That moon is tiny. That moon at 500-meter radius is still an hour and a half to run around. GG, but it's a moon, so kudos. See, this is the point, right? I've been doing some math of like radiuses, planetary radiuses, and player traversal, and there's thresholds, right? It depends on like if you're on foot, right? If you're on foot and you want to kind of explore, random vistas on a planet, you really don't want to be spending too much time, right? Like the idea that I want to get into people's heads in very early game is procedural generation is there to fill in the environment that represents the planet. But the planet itself has specific landing zones that are really good. The atmospheric effects. I don't have the shader enabled, but I have a full like volumetric cloud system, and a full atmospheric refraction system. Where are my glasses? I don't know. Somewhere. I don't know. That's a good question. I have no idea where my glasses went. It's visually noticeable. No, not in this build. I didn't move any of the atmosphere stuff. Sure, if you have them. We're gonna head over to the dark side here of the. We're just gonna slide along. Oop. Yeah, I've been enjoying the YouTube growth. I really want to start doing devlogs. And I say this, I mean, Fictious and Twitch chat here would, what I mean? Like I say I'm doing devlogs all the time. I don't do them, but yeah, like this is working fine. Was that every stream? Oh yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, and just watch the skybox slowly rotate as I walk around the planet. I am planning on it. I don't think for gameplay purposes they'll be out anytime soon. Because they require my zone system to be finished. Once my zone system is finished, then these planets will be static, and you will be on them. You'll be perceiving, everything on them, but they will be projected wherever they would be in space. So they can be rotating and literally doing everything that they need to do, you know, in a very stable physics manner. And but it requires a bit more work. It's going to be probably a little while anyway before I kind of get things fully working and tested with that. But I mean, like my big rush right now is just getting gameplay. Like I want to get an outpost tomorrow. I want to go into Blender and we're going to build a basic outpost that we can buy and sell goods, right? Because the ship has a fully working cargo cargo grid, that we can kind of, you know, buy items, throw them in the ship. I want to get the cargo missions working. Like they work, but I mean, like it's not fun on the empty test scene. We just kind of, you know, like this economically. Oh, this is the empty test scene. Right, so like economically, if we like head over to the mission board, and I'm just going to accept a random mission, right? Let's do this Lori Coda gas shore. So like, random drop off and random pickup location. Okay, well here's our pickup location, you know, for the delivery mission. And there's all these little terminals in in all of the locations. Right, they work just like kind of SAs. They're not really, you know, a complicated thing. And so, you know, and they can do multiple boxes. So they'll be like, you know, there's not just, these are the simple ones, right, for basic goods, but there's also ones that are, you know, like groups of commodities. And you know, we just gonna go and finish the mission. And like, ta-da, it's done. We make money, you know. So we have a real oh yeah, so anyway, fix this. Let me stop my swirling. Well, from the bottom of my heart, I wish you the best and much for us. I follow your progress, but great interest. Oh, dude, it's gonna get finished. Like I'm not, you know, like all that. I believe that art can come last. I need to make art because we have to kind of push the game, you know, like from a marketing perspective. Like there's always going to be marketing and a need of marketing. So I have this minimum viable idea artistically of where I want the ship to be, where I want the stations to be, you know, and I'm kind of, while working on all the systems, trying to focus on that, putting my Blender time into those details so that we can build some trailer content. So we can kind of like, and I want to try to provide all these tools to players. Like I added a free cam. I want to make a dolly cam and a chase cam. I want to make stuff that anybody who has access to the build, they can go and film some footage, you know, and try to help kind of showcase some of the things. It's really hard. If I could get to a point where I can just keep doing builds and have somebody go in and take that build and just do a little bit of B-roll of what was in that build that we can just keep posting on like Twitter and social media, whatever, then, you know what I mean? It'd be like very, very, very helpful, but it's so much work, you know what I mean? Like everything I do takes time away from something else that takes time, you know, like I either keep working on the netcode, I'll come here in your Discord to offer my services for placeholder voice acting. Yeah, that'd be cool. Right, stuff like that. The Discord, I think, is in the bottom of the YouTube link. I got to get all of the... Also, if you guys are on Facebook, I want to multi-stream and really increase the visibility of the project. Like, I don't care about, like, the, you know... So, I do have the Captain Revere Facebook, which we can, you know, actually stream to as well. Mostly because, like, I know a lot of people aren't on Facebook, and it does kind of tie to real names, which is not ideal. But there's a lot of Star Citizen fans on, you know, Facebook. So being able to multi-stream to like Facebook and Twitter, but the requirements, like I need to get 100 followers on the actual Facebook account, which is much harder than many of the other things as far as that goes. But eventually I'll get there. Gotta start like putting like social media links and stuff in the VODs. Yeah, once you get into in-game cameras, and I'm fairly savvy with audio visual production. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's lots of work. What was I was gonna show pictures what we were working on your vehicle listing. What's that? And it's a grind, but build it and they'll come. I'm in it, and it's that's what I think. So like check this out. This is what I did today in my limited time. So we can actually drive around the planet. It's not complicated, but and the camera sucks right now, but I can like have so much momentum. It's actually like kind of fun, but hard to determine. Kind of fun right now because it's you know, a bit rough. But if we take over the camera here and we go find wherever we do with the ship here, sure, put it somewhere. Let's like put a light on the damn thing. Oh, is that it there? No. Where is it? But there it is. Like even this planet size, you know what I mean? Like this is only 500 meters. But if you really like look at this guy, you know, flying around, like just driving around doing this thing, you know, like, and come out. You know what I mean? Like even 500 meters is a little bit to explore. In a ship, you fly around in seconds. You know, like it's, you're not going to hide on a planet like this, but it still works. But this is what we're gonna like work on this week and the weekend. We're gonna add an outpost that has an actual landing location. So I want to go in Blender and make some bendy some bendy connectors, and those bendy connectors are going to use blend shapes. So they'll use like a blend shape reference based on an angle, because they'll only ever be flat, right? So whatever the angle would be, like how it depends on how many units weigh, we can kind of adjust it. So I can modern development often overlooks fun over complexity and fidelity. We don't give a shit about any of that. Is it fun now? Right? And I totally get that it's a hard judge, right? Because until you get good camera shake, and you know, like you can't really make recoil unless you have camera shake and you kind of, you know, dynamic FOV. There's a lot of systemics to making things more fun and more immersive or whatever. But systemically, you could be like, can I shoot NPC? Does NPC die? Right? Like, well, you know, like, is it good enough to be able to spend a couple of minutes doing some bounty missions? Like, can we accept a bounty mission? Can we kill the NPC? How long did it take? You know, was that time frame viable to a player? Right? Like, was it, hey, internet trash, it's a cool looking ship. It's not a ship, trash. It's the buggy. And it has planet tech. It's the buggy. I put the buggy in. This is actually the buggy. Whee. It's the buggy going around the planet in the test scene. Whee. Yeah, man, like folks like myself gave SE like 700 million in 12 years, and it doesn't work, and it's not fun. You got this as far as I can tell. Thanks, it means a lot. It's what I'm trying to hit, man. I'm not trying to make a revolutionary, graphically complicated game. I'm just trying to make like 2012 Star Citizen as if they were following the Freelancer guide and adding a lot of Star Wars elements to it, like slicing and things that I used to play in an old mod I used to play back in the day. I used to play a mod in the 90s. It was called Star Wars Rise and Power. And it had like smuggling. It had really good smuggling. And it had like, you know, drug running and like spice running, and you know, like things that were high risk, high reward, like you know, sneaking weapons and stuff past security, and you know, like kind of a bit of espionage, a bit of bounty hunting, right? Like their security was better, their medical gameplay was better, right? Like and this was text. It was text. The whole damn game was text. It still had better space combat, even though you had to use three-dimensional coordinates and set route, you know. Right, this is stuff that was just done, you know, in 1992 or 3, whenever the original... When did SWR mod come out? Star Wars Reality was a fork of SMAG. The game that I played was a fork of SWR, but it came out in 1997. You know what I mean? 1997, 1998, right? And that code base, even though it was pure text, had amazing PvP. Permadeath, we're not going to go permadeath. I don't think the temperature of the player, you know, of now would allow a total permadeath game. People would probably lose their shit. And they become attached to things, and we need to like respect the attachment that they have to the things they've gathered. But we will have like a degradation of reputation and an idea that like you could technically purchase a clone. You know, so instead of dying and taking the reputation hit, you die and take a fiscal hit, right? The fiscal hit of how much money you had to save up to actually like buy a clone. But you would still like not have you know, you still lose stuff, but you wouldn't be so bad. But that's my goal though, Pash, is on YouTube here, is to just make more content, than make more gameplay loops than what SC currently has. Right? Like if I can do that, if I can literally just make more gameplay, not caring about, like, it doesn't have to be complicated gameplay. I actually think layering a lot of small conceptual gameplay is still more fun as a grandiose whole than really a lot of very complicated things. You know, like it should play more like Sea of Thieves, be really easy to get into. Like Sea of Thieves, it only has one different type of weapon. You know what I mean? Like there's no, and they're all balanced. There's no better weapon. I'm not doing that specifically, but it's a good example of how in Sea of Thieves, all you have is bailing, repair. You don't have a lot of tools at your disposal, but when you combine all of it together, the gameplay loops that you have, right, it works. That's awesome. I can see a lot of people having fun with the Doom Buggy. Yeah, I think so too. Right, like if I turn off the camera, as you can see, like I'm in this thing, driving it around, but it's like, you know, just I'm literally bouncing. Like, but it's hard to tell, like with the camera being fixed, how fun it is. Oh god, and we are totally going too fast. Like when you floor it, this thing gets so unstable. Man, fun is fun. Your Discord might have expired. Trash. I gotta get more mods on the YouTube side. I don't even know how to set up a mod on the YouTube side. Let me get my Patreon links and my Discord links, and I'll paste them over. Let me see if this works. Copy text. If it will send. Paste. Yeah. Yeah, definitely jump in the Discord. Like I said, the best way to support me right now is not through any of the subscription services. If anyone like is interested, like I said, just jump on the, even like now we have some updates. Right, just even at the $5 tier, even at the $3 tier, anything helps. You know, that's the idea, and it's not a requirement. You're gonna sit here and watch me make the game anyway. So game happens no matter what, and hopefully, you know what I mean. But because I have some very interesting marketing ideas for this thing, and they will be cool, but I can't. You know, it's too early. Each of the gameplay loops need to be fleshed out, and only the smuggling is just working on the smuggling is just literally adding in a bunch of sensors like scanners, and having the ship be scannable. you know, getting NPC ships to scan you, like it's just a, you know, not too complicated to get online. But I do want to kind of do a bit more work on netcode. And this light is way too dark. That's the issue. Unless you have a volumetric fog, whenever you do have a skybox, and you have a light, unless you have something, you know, like some background, you're only getting what's on the surface. So we're not really kind of, yeah. So yeah, we have vehicles now, and we need to do our live vehicle interface. So this is what we'll work on. Like I said, I've been kind of just going through. It was a pretty late day, so I never really, you know, I don't have much. You know, the whole point of tonight is to show off kind of the plant deck, and that we got it working. We need to make it work in multiplayer, but that'll happen naturally. As the gravity system and its application of gravity happens on the server. So, you know, it all should wink wink work in multiplayer. It's just maybe going through the multiplayer player prefab. I got to go through and set up all the different collision layers and make sure everything's like kind of working in the same way. But I'm excited to have. Yeah, that needs to be added actually. Alright, so we're gonna add planet gravity. This one. Yeah, there's so much stuff now that we're kind of getting through. Take granted, no pun intended. Have a good one, Bash. I'm going to get ready and end it here in just a bit. I'm going to get ready, you know, it is almost 12 my time. Tomorrow we are going to be blundering. Tomorrow, our goal tomorrow is going to be to actually make an outpost. So we're going to make a landing location, a big landing pad. And so we're going to get our landing pad kind of... The idea is that we're going to kind of put everything up on dynamic struts. Right? So there's going to be like, they'll be high. So they'll always be, you know, probably around 10 meters underneath the landing zone of just struts. And then we're going to use a kind of a ramp-like system that moves in stages, similar to the way Starfield did it. The idea being it doesn't matter then, like, how far into the ground, you know, we put these, the train itself won't matter because you'll always be able to go up the ramp. Right, so the, you know, we kind of like overextend the ramp so that we never, you know, actually, you know, if there's some weird terrain type, it'll still work. And then on, you know, then we'll be attaching to the side of this thing, obviously the big landing location. So that's our goal, and it'll just be gray box. But we're gonna end the stream tomorrow night with an actual little place that we can go to and land and buy some cargo in the test system. So let's go in here in the test system, all the way up here, where we have our little friend, Mr. Buggy. Because the buggy needs a little bit more work to be able to fit in the ship, and it doesn't fit in the ship right now, which is kind of annoying. They're right, so the buggy, and for those that don't know, the buggy is like super cool. Like it has this really awesome, it's literally a forklift. What it is, it's a space forklift. You know, it's actually dual purpose. It's meant for like having different variations. So you could have like a van version, which is like an extended module. It's my approach of never having like, just make one of something and make it so modular that you can make like 5 or 10 different things from it. And right, that works easy. You know, the thing can't flip over. You can like, you know, rotate these kind of like mount systems. We can flip itself if it needs to. And we'll get all of that kind of working. But I want it to flip the wheels inward, right? So I want to be able to extend the struts, like the whole suspension system. I want to move it out a little bit. So we're kind of still at the point of a square, but I want to be able to kind of have the wheels kind of spin all the way inward. So kind of put them on a frame that's this way instead. Because then we can, you know, like we just need to make sure that it, you know, it's able to steer. You know, I might have to kind of rig up something that's a little bit more complicated, but I think having a storing mode where it can literally just turn its wheels in and they can still kind of like basically steer, but you know, like not a lot, just a little bit in the front, so that it can kind of like roll up and then go on into the ship. I think that'd be cool. And shouldn't really be like, because it'd literally be this. You know what I mean? Like on the when it kind of goes the other way. It'd be like, you know, kind of this on both sides. That's what I want it to do. I want it to kind of, regardless of what variation, so like I need to kind of figure out kind of a way of it kind of extending it a little bit in design. But I think it'd be really cool if it could do this, because then we only need 3 meters of clearance to kind of put this thing in the ship. But it, you know, I need to make sure that it's stable and that we can still kind of climb up and get out, and you know, it's not taking up too much space. That might be, you know, might have to back it in or something. Yeah, so I think we'll figure it out, get it working. Right, because it was designed to fit within 4 meters regularly. I think the cargo hold. Let me check. Right, so we have 8 meters. Yeah, we really only have 3 meters to work with. Right, so if we can make it yeah, if we can make it fit within 3 meters, that'd be perfect. I mean, it's even less, but I think I can readjust the ramps. Yeah, I think the ramps can actually be kind of like more moved out. That's the goal. Try to get it down to 3 meters, and it would be like this folded up is within 2 meters of space, right? It's literally, you know, it should be designed that when it is folded up, you know, completely, it is a 2 meter unit wide thing. I mean, it's a little bit more because the I think the lines are down the center. But I'd like to make it work. But I still don't know then like if we'll be able to get out. There should be a meter, like once we get in, there should be a meter on each side. If we can like pop out on the side and jump down, that'd be cool. And make bigger ships. Anyway, I'm gonna end it here on YouTube. I'm gonna find some of the raid on Twitch, and then we'll be back tomorrow to work on an outpost.